Let's go to our render settings and talk about ambient occlusion next. So I'm going to go to Effect, and I'm going to choose to turn on ambient occlusion and make sure the check mark is on. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to create a light, a nice soft light like an area light, and I'm just going to toss this in my scene so we can see the result of this light here. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to render from this angle. I'm going to go to my render settings and I'm going to put my anti-aliasing on, and let's go ahead and do a test. Now, as you can see here, we are able to see a little bit more shadow in the render. So to show you that more clearly, let's go ahead and clear this render, and we're going to actually render to something called the picture viewer. And what I also want to do is I want to save this so we can compare it later on. So as you see here, we have these buttons. I'm going to set this as image A, and I'm going to come back again, and I'm going to turn the ambient occlusion off. And I'm going to render again to the picture viewer. And now we can compare the two. So as you see here, I have 1 and 2. Now I'm going to also turn off the line by going right here so we can see the difference. So here is without ambient occlusion, and take a look right in the E, right in there at the one without, and now look at the one with, and also look in the X. What ambient occlusion tries to do is really convey where light is not reaching and really show a lot of the crevices by making them a lot darker. So it's always good to try to put that on to get much more realistic renders. Let's go ahead this time and go back to our render settings, and I put that back on. We're going to now go back here again and turn something else on called global illumination, because I'm about to show you a really cool trick. With global illumination, it takes a look at all the lights in the scene and remembers that light bounces so that you'll be able to get a very soft effect. However, you don't have to have a light. You can actually use a piece of geometry as your light. So I'm going to take this little cube here. I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it into an editable mesh, and I'm going to move it into position. This is going to be our light source for this scene, believe it or not. And I'm also going to create another material, and on this material, I'm going to turn on luminance so that it glows. And I'm going to take this luminance and toss it right on this rectangle. And with global illumination on, you're going to find out that that is actually going to light this entire scene. All right, so once again, let's go ahead and check this out. So I'm going to move this into position, and I'll hit render. See how soft that is? And it's literally coming from the luminance values of that rectangle. So if you want to create your own soft boxes like you'll find in photography studios, this is a really cool way to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and I'll just put one over here to the side. I'll rotate this one as well just to kind of get some light on this side as well, and move it down. And we'll zoom in again and do another render. And now we have light coming from both sides. This time, let's go ahead and put on our object a metallic material, which I've already got set up by going to my presets. I'm going to drag this onto the text. Let's go ahead and render that out. And you can see the effect of those light boxes inside of this material. So I'm going to double click on the material itself, and we're going to crank up the luminance value to 200%, really blow it out, and render again. And now you can see that nice effect with the rectangles appearing inside the text. And that's how you get that really nice, crisp, sharp shadow and light that you see in many metallic effects. You create a nice soft box like this, and you simply put it into position. So as you can see, you don't just have to rely on lights. You can rely on trickery sometimes. So I'm gonna let that show, actually. I'm not going to turn that off in my render for now, just so we can see what it looks like now. Let's go ahead and render. and you get this really nice effect. All right, so as you can see, there are quite a few things you can do to make your renders better. You can also, of course, apply depth of field, glows, and much, much more. Now, elsewhere in the course, I'm going to talk about Sketch and Tune, so be on the lookout for that as well. So once again, that is a look at more advanced settings that you can apply to your renders.